way too early 2023 running back breakouts. So they do not need to be rookie running backs, maybe guys that have been shelved for a little bit for whatever reason. Perhaps they were injured. We're going to tell you. We're also going to tell you if we are acquiring or selling, what's the cost? Because cost is important. What kind of early 2023 running back breakout are you predicting? Or who are you predicting it for?
I am looking at Khalil Herbert for the Chicago Bears. This is a guy that we've been talking about on this channel for 2 years now. Khalil Herbert, we talked about him all offseason as a guy you got to go out there and buy. He was going to be a good flex play. He'd have chances to lead the backfield at some point, and he has fulfilled all those expectations. So far this year, 644 yards at 6 yards per carry. I mean, he has been efficient. He has looked better than David Montgomery. Even in the timeshare with David Montgomery, he is currently the running back 32 on a points per game basis. David Montgomery is a free agent after this season. The Chicago Bears have a lot of holes to fill. Chev can tell you that for sure. There's a lot of places they got to fill before running back. So I don't think they're going to look to spend money and re-sign David Montgomery to that team. I also don't think they're going to be looking to put any significant draft capital into the running back position, especially because Khalil Herbert has looked good with the Chicago Bears this year. And he has been more efficient. He has been more overall productive than David Montgomery. He is fifth in the NFL with juke rate with 41%, which is evaded tackles per touch. So he's almost making someone miss on every 2 touches. 6.2 yards per touch, which is fourth in the NFL. This guy just gets yards. He is productive when he gets the ball. He has shown that. He has handled a good workload as well at times with David Montgomery's injuries. Khalil Herbert, a guy you got to get because the Bears are running the most run plays in the NFL this year. I suspect that will continue into next year, even with some additions to the offense. This is going to be a run-heavy team no matter what under the coaching staff that they currently have. So Khalil Herbert's a guy that's going to get volume. He's been efficient. What more can you ask for? Even if he doesn't get a lead role and he's like the 1A rather than a bell cow, I would still predict a 60-40 split, which is plenty of volume for him to be a solid RB2 for your team, a guy that you can definitely fit into your flex if you're a contending team next year. And this is a guy that right now you can acquire for a mid-second or just put him into a package. I saw a lot of deals out there where you were upgrading or downgrading, and the downgrade side got the Khalil Herbert on top of whatever they were downgrading from, just like a tier down or two, or like a mid-second. Khalil Herbert's a guy that is acquirable right now and has a really good chance to give you production in 2023 at a position that we really need production all the time.
Before we move on, question, with him being currently injured, if he was on a competing team, do you think they would possibly move him cheaper? Or are there any players that you think would move the needle to get him?
I think you could get him with a slight injury discount right now. A productive team, you could move a player that is going to give you more production. I think you can't just move a older running back like Latavius Murray or someone like that. I think you have to give up a little bit more than that. Maybe you give up Latavius Murray in a third to get Khalil Herbert. Maybe you kind of upgrade from a veteran running back. They're happy with the production that they're going to get this year. Plus they get a little bit of future draft capital as well. I think that's a trade you could be looking to make as well if you want to get him for a third and a throwaway player.
Right. So another reason that even if you're out of it, why it's always important to play the waiver wire, because waiver wire fab dollars, those quote unquote useless moves could definitely turn into an upgrade for the future of your roster. So
even if it's a contender and they would kind of accept a second, but they want the production. If Khalil Herbert comes back for the last run, maybe you could throw like Richie James in a second round pick. And, Richie James could be a little sweetener to get it done.
Phil, who are you predicting to be a 2023 breakout running back?
My breakout next year is he's kind of semi breaking out now. And it's Ramondre Stevenson. The only reason I'm saying Ramondre Stevenson, even though right now he's the RB11 on the season, is that when you decide to look at some trades, they're not treating him as if he is an RB1, and I think it's based off of the history of the New England Patriots. But it's a preconceived notion that New England, you can't trust their running backs. And, we always have a first and second down guy, and then we always got a Kevin Falk come in or a James White come in on third down, takes all the PPR. Ramondre Stevenson is doing all of that in one. He's like an old school 3-down back. Bill Belichick never talks about his players in a good manner during the press conferences. This is one guy that he's actually talking about how good he's been playing. His pass protection's been good. He's catching out of the backfield pretty good. Damian Harris is a free agent next year. So right now it's him, it's Ramondre, it's Kevin Harris, and it's Pierre Strong. Two guys that they just drafted this year. I don't think they like Kevin Harris or Pierre Strong because we haven't seen much of them at all. And they cut our boy JJ Taylor. Rest in peace. We got Ramondre. He's catching the ball out of the backfield. He's doing very, very well with that. And he's actually running very good routes. I've seen him juking people out of their boots. And the one thing is that when we profiled him to a LeGarrette Blount. He's being LeGarrette Blount and James White in one. Next year, if he's getting all three down work, the sky's the limit for him all year round. Let's talk about some of these trades. So those are Ramondre for a 23 second and a third. I'm taking Ramondre for that. If I think that he's going to profile to that 3 down back. I have Ramondre for Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Ramondre for Amon-Ra St. Brown. I understand that Ramondre is breaking out right now, but I feel like there should probably be more on that Ramondre side because I understand that people are anticipating a drop off when Jameson Williams comes back. I think so too. Mm-hmm. But the long-term aspect of it here is Amon-Ra St. Brown is the play. So
I know the long-term, for the long-term purposes, but I'm thinking more of the condensed running backs that you have. If you have this 3 down, this is just my opinion. If you have this 3 down back and you need running backs, because sometimes that position gets kind of light, I'd rather have the Ramondre side for myself than the Amon-Ra in that aspect. That's just position scarcity for me. My last trade would be Ramondre and a 23 third for Swift. I think everybody knows in that group who I'm rather go with in that case.
I'm going to take the Ramondre side too, man. Yeah.
Swift is, best ability is availability. If he's not available, Ramondre built like a freaking tank. He's been available all season, catching the ball and running the ball. And you sweeten it up with a third, it's fine by me.
Pork, I traded for Ramondre Stevenson in our league. Traded 2 seconds.
I saw that today.
And I got a third and Ramondre back. I feel like that's decent.
That's pretty decent. I'd say.
For going for a run,
Yeah, I like that.
But that doesn't, here's the thing, you're going for a run, but that doesn't kill you next year either. You got a starting piece.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll tell you what, he does worry me a little bit. I'm not exactly sure how many rushing touches he's going to get every game. So if he doesn't get the receptions, that's where it could get a little saucy and could get a little scary.
The last game he had 7, but before that, 15, 15, and 16. So he's been getting the carries, especially when Damian Harris is there too as well. Mm-hmm. Which is that's a glaring thing that we see right there.
Pork, one last thing before we move on. What are you looking at? What kind of breakout are you looking at? Is he an RB2? Is he a low end RB1? What are you thinking?
Well, I think there is in the realm of possibility that he could be a top 6 running back next year because of the fact that there aren't many 3 down backs out there who's going to be getting 70 to 80% of the snaps. In that case, Mac Jones isn't the guy that's going to be chucking the ball down the field all day. So he's going to be doing them check downs and Ramondre's there. We're seeing it this year. So I'll project that next year with a boatload more carries as well.
I love J.K. Dobbins, and I'm really hoping, honestly, that maybe he doesn't come back, or maybe he just can finish the season without getting injured this year. That way he can go into an off season and just breathe a little bit, not having to rehab anything, not having to really push himself super hard to get ready for the season, because it's just been an absolute brutal time this last year for him. The last 2 years, honestly, have been pretty brutal for him. And I want him to get a fresh start. And I'm really, really hoping that this season coming up, 2023, is going to be his fresh start. Now, let's not forget, this guy rushed for over 2,000 yards in his last year in college. In his 2020 season, his rookie year, 134 attempts, 805 yards, 9 touchdowns. Led all the running backs, 6 yards per carry. I mean, the dude was insane. I had to go back and watch highlights because I wasn't exactly sure what I was getting. I forgot what it looks like. And the dude is a bowling ball. He's got great contact. He's slippery. I mean, the guy's got speed. He's everything you want in a running back. I think he's forgotten. I think he's a guy that nobody wants anymore, and the trades prove it. I still believe in Dobbins. I still think he's got all that talent. I just need my boy to come into next season fully healthy. Can I guarantee that? Absolutely not, because I think the Baltimore Ravens are going to be a team that goes to the playoffs, and he's going to have to be a guy that produces for him because they're looking for a running back. You just never know which one's going to be because they're always injured. I think Dobbins next year can be a steal if you are able to trade for him right now. I know a lot of trade deadlines have already gone, but he's going to be coming back soon. It sounds like he's about healthy enough to come back in and get some snaps in the games. But let me tell you some of the trades that I'm seeing right now for J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins and Jahan Dotson for a 23 first.
Ooh.
My goodness.
Oh, man.
My goodness.
Oh, man. That butters me up.
J.K. Dobbins, a second in 2024 and a third in 2023. That's stealing. It's obvious that you can go out and get him because people are tired of him being injured and they're not willing to wait. I mean, he's on IR right now for free. You got J.K. Dobbins in the 23 first for Najee Harris.
Give me the Dobbins side.
Yeah.
Give me Dobbins in the first. We see Najee's getting dinged up. I'm just really hoping he is healthy for 2023. If that is the case, sign me up. J.K. Dobbins is going to be a top 12 back.
I just want to point out that I was not the one to bring up a Ravens player. Somebody else talked about a Ravens player. Thank you, Chev.
Hey,
I like J.K. Dobbins as well.
Rachaad White, running back for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's currently the running back 43 as per Fantasy Pros. He's running back 19 on Keep Trade Cut, but he's looked really good when he's been the primary ball carrier. You can ask the Seahawks defender that he absolutely murdered in Germany, getting him out of the way. The Buccaneers would save $5 million cutting Leonard Fournette before June 1st. The Bucs are going to have to dress quarterback either through free agency, possibly the draft, possibly, or it's Kyle Trask. I feel as though he could be a complete three-down back, much like Ramondre Stevenson. He's a very powerful runner with underappreciated receiving ability. His senior season at Arizona State, do you guys know what he got in the receiving game? 43 catches for 456 yards and 1 touchdown. So if he runs for 1,200 yards on a season and adds that, so none of his metrics actually stand out on player profile. I didn't see anything on there that really popped to me, but we're looking at a small sample size of him being the guy. Head coach Todd Bowles says that he will be going to ride the hot hand at running back. Leonard Fournette looks like he's going to miss some time, so Todd Bowles' decision been made a little bit easier. Just acquiring him straight up for picks, looking at least 1 second round pick, maybe multiples or a late first around there. Let's talk some trades. Rachaad White for Kyle Phillips and Alec Pierce. Kyle Phillips, a guy Chev was talking about stashing. Still some question marks there. I like the stash. But if you compare him with a guy that has quarterback question marks and get a guy that I think could be a standout running back, I'm doing it. Rachaad White and Deebo Samuel for Garrett Wilson. I would trade Garrett Wilson away for that. I think he could be like a really solid RB2. There's a possibility he creeps up into the back end of RB1 territory. That all depends on what the Buccaneers do at quarterback too, and how much they utilize the running game. And now a trade that no one asked for, a trade that Bob made involving Rachaad White that is on my show screen. So picture this: Khalil Herbert, the 2023 201 and a 24 second for Rachaad White and a 24 third.
I don't hate either side. I mean, I think value-wise, the side's on the Khalil Herbert trade with the draft capital. Yeah. But Rachaad White's going to do more for you this year.
I think
it's fair.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty decent. I think I'd take the picks, the 201 and the 24 second Khalil Herbert. But, I mean, if Leonard Fournette gets an injury and he's out the next 3 weeks, I mean, Rachaad White is going to be a guy that catches plenty of passes out the backfield. It's like Ramondre Stevenson, right? 9 catches, 90 yards. Like, that's going to win you a lot of games in your playoffs this year.
Let's go to a rapid fire breakout or bust. Are they going to bust out or are they going to break out? So let's start. We'll all touch on this one. Dameon Pierce, Nate, has been said that he's replaceable. Nate, what do you think?
I do think that he is replaceable. I think he has broken out. I don't think he's going to bust. I think he's just going to kind of plateau. And for fantasy football, I think he is going to bust for 2023. I think he still has some chances to make some moves this year to get you some fantasy points, but the competition is coming in that backfield, so move on while you can.
And he's a guy I'm looking to trade right after the season. I need him for RB depth at the moment, but you have a terrible backfield behind him. I mean, there's 34-year-olds playing running back behind him. Either they're going to get somebody in the draft or they're going to get somebody out of free agency, and it's going to be competition. He's a guy I want to trade right after the season ends, to be honest.
I still have him as a breakout. I still believe in his talent, and they're going to get another quarterback. They really haven't been getting him the ball this past couple games, but I think that's just pure game script. When he gets the ball, he's very efficient with it. So I still have him on that breakout side for me. I'm going to keep him.
All right, so let's move on. Phil, breakout or bust? DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, he's the RB3 on the team right now. According to snap count, he's going to continue to bust for me. I just think his body isn't set up for a full 17 games. Can't deny his talent. He's super fast. Again, I'm going to go back to 2 years ago. I just didn't feel as though he did not have that dog in him, and the dog ain't barking.
Nate, breakout or bust? Tony Pollard.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to label this one a bust just because I think people are expecting Tony Pollard to, break out and become, like the RB1 with his fantasy production. If Zeke wasn't there. I mean, he has put up some great numbers. With Zeke's injury, he scored a lot of fantasy points for us, but he is a free agent after this year. I think he's going to have a decent end of this year, but he's not going to have the league winning year that some people were hoping for. Zeke's back and he's producing. Zeke outproduced Pollard for Thanksgiving, and in 2023 he's a free agent. I don't know where he ends up, and I don't like free agent running backs usually.
Well, that is it for this video. I do hope you all enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Comment down below your thoughts on the video itself. If you want to support this team and go deeper with us and get access to bonus content, written content, rankings, and our Discord community group chat, be sure to check out patreon.com/Dynasty Rewind. It's a great way to support the brand and let us know that you want us to keep cranking out awesome content. And you get access to all of us 24/7. Lastly, if you enjoyed this video today, I'm sure you'll love this one too. Be sure to go check it out. But hey, that is it for me today. I'll see y'all in the next one. But until then, y'all have a good one.